What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Suzerain. So, last I left, I was kicking some ass and taking names. Have an alliance with like the free, democratic nations. We're like going toe to toe against the Eastern Bloc kind of communist nations. The NATO-led pack, which is called ATO, is I think headed by these guys. But in either case, it's me, him, and then I think these guys with some guys that are off the board. Alright, let's see. Whoa, I got some stuff here. Alcohol Tax Act that was approved. See, this is stuff I can sign. Wow, look how much better that is. Alright, the GNA proposes the 8AA to socially deter the excessive amount of alcohol consumption that has arisen in the general populace and increase tax revenues. Section 1 will impose a 20% tax. Whoa. Section 2 makes local alcohol production that is destined for export exempt from taxation. Oh, interesting. And this establishes a 25% import tax on foreign alcohol, which comes from countries that have no trade regulations imposed on these. I don't know. See, like, I can't undo it, right? My budget is bad. Look at it's -5. This at least will bring it to 4. I mean, we technically have an alcohol tax, don't we? I mean, who is that really going to piss off? I mean, honestly, it would piss me off. But, I mean, we technically get taxed for alcohol, don't we? So, I mean, it's baked into the price. It's not like we notice it. But it's 20% of the sale of all alcohol products. So, if it's like, I don't know, let's say you're getting a bottle of Jack Daniels, right? $30. 20% of that is what? 20%, 2, 4, 6, like $6, I think, right? Or am I just stupid? Yes, $6. It's not that bad. It's $36. That's not too bad. And it's going to improve the budget. I need money coming in, so I'm going to sign it. Import tax on foreign alcohol products. Now that is another kicker, though. Let's say Lesbia is trying to... They might cause a problem with that. And like, hey, dude, 25%? Huh. Dang, man, I don't know. This one's a tough one. I would need the money, but the economy is already on the rise, so it's not like I'm in a really bad spot. Let me first. Can I hide this? I mean, I don't think people would get really pissed off by it. It's not like it's a political thing. Yeah, let's sign it. Here we go. Oh, okay. Even these guys who hate me thinks that's a good idea. That's interesting. Propose an amendment. Tax code. The FLTA seeks to improve the fairness of the taxation system and increase tax revenues. Section 1 sets a 15% tax rate, which will be imposed on items of the luxury goods class determined by the Ministry of Economy. This encompasses jewelry, furs, sports cars, yachts, private planes. Section 2 of the amendment will establish a 10% estate tax for the conditions of purchase, sale, and transfer. Yeah, this is fine. Let's see. The Assembly has signed an amendment known as the The bold choice seeks to impose a tax hike on personal items, believing that necessary products or loving gifts are all considered luxury products is the hard reality we are facing under the Reagan administration. Oh, poor baby! For you to get your sports car, you gotta pay a little bit more. Oh, would you like a cookie? Give me a break. Uh-oh. Emergency call on the escalating situation. You know this is bad. Oh, Ministry of Defense. If it was Justice, I'll be like, oh snap, it's probably like, you know, something going on with like, I don't know, locally with, you know, criminals and stuff. But Ministry of Defense. Mr. President, this is the way to the car. War room, oh snap. Alright, so I got him, Chief Strategist, and him. Where's my, what's Peter? We must maintain peace and order in Eastern Malcopia at all costs. What do you expect us to do? Sit down and do nothing? They are testing us. We must respond immediately, otherwise they will think we are weak. Thank you for coming at this late hour. There's a situation. Mr. President, approximately 20 minutes ago, Rumberg downed one of our planes with anti-aircraft fire from the ground. The pilot was declared, the last recorded position of the plane was inside Swedish airspace. AA fire? He would have to be really close to that border. General Kluger, I meant no offense, but we're absolutely sure that this is the case. Are you sure this had been within our borders? No offense taken. Here are the location on the map and a report from the air base. Can AA reach 10 kilometers from their border to ours? Huh. We should attack and down one of their planes in retaliation, otherwise we'll look weak and it will lead to more casualties. If we appear weak, they will jump on the opportunity. I don't think... Slow your roll there, dude. It's not like this is us against them now. You know, Swordland versus Rumsburg, right? This is now the ATO, right? We're NATO, right? If we get involved in this, right, we are bringing the entire continent to war. So this immediate, like, let's just down one of the aircraft. We need to be, we gotta be slow a roll. Before it comes to that point, let us prevent further bloodshed by using diplomacy. You know, one thing that I really love about General Mattis is he was an ardent supporter of the State Department and using diplomacy at all costs, all the time. Use diplomacy, right? I think his quote is, I'm trying to remember. He said something like when he was on the ground in Iraq. I think he was a lieutenant colonel at the time, or yeah, I think he was a light colonel. He said, "I come in peace, but if you fuck with me, I'll kill you all." Man, you two probably just struck me there, but he did say that to the local village, and he's actually that's why I believe Marines have such a personal love for him, because he protects his Marines. And I remember reading that during his entire deployment there, like there was nothing really going on in his area. He always chose like, hey, listen, we're going to try to work things out with diplomacy at all costs, right? And then when diplomacy is like 100%, we can't use diplomacy, it's time for battle, he was ready. Like he's like, I'm all for peace, but if you turn that knob and you're ready for war, you better get ready to get, stomped on. And I remember when he was Secretary of Defense, he said, because I believe somebody said the State Department should lose more money and it's a waste or something like that. And he says, no, I want the State Department. If they don't do their job, then means we will have to do our job and have to go in and basically, it'll be war, And, General doesn't shy away from war. I mean, he goes to combat zones, but he knows that war and the use of military force should be the last option on the table. And, a lot of generals understood this in history, Eisenhower, many other generals, and I think that probably goes into a larger discussion. Like if you look at Eisenhower, and I have conversations with my friends sometimes about this, is when the Nazi regime fell and Berlin was taken, Patton was up for like, hey, we're over here already, we might as well just go to Moscow because we know there's going to be stuff between us and them. So let's just go now. We're already here. And technically the Soviets were in a really bad position. Some people will say, no, they had a massive army. They were all combat experience, yes. But I remember reading that yes, they did have a big army and they were all combat experienced, but that was it. That was the bottom. They scraped the bottom of the barrel. There was nothing left. There was nobody left. Whatever they had on the field was it. There was no more reserves. That's it. So the first year or two might be hard with going up against combat vets, but there is nothing in the reserve pool. Nothing left. And technically, I mean, the amount that the Soviets lost in that war was, I think, like 20 million. Was it civilians? I think it was 20 million. I think the military lost another 17, I think, somewhere around there. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, from 41, 42, 43, 44, they lost hundreds of thousands and millions of troops. Right? But they kept pulling more and more onto the battlefield. Pulling. Eventually by 45, they've been doing this for years and they didn't have many people left that they could pull onto the front lines. The U.S., on the other hand, I mean, we invaded Normandy. We did take a couple 100,000, KIA. I believe at the end of World War II, we had like somewhere around 200 to 300 KIA, 200 to 300,000 KIA. So compare that to the Soviet army, which by 1945 was, I think, 17 million. We barely and then we had the atom bomb on top of it. Soviets were not going to have that for 3-4 more years. So, but I think what Eisenhower realized was, look, we could do this. We could go all the way to Moscow, and we probably could break the back of the Soviet Union. But we're going to try peace. We're going to try to coexist. And I think the administration, the American administration, thought the same thing. It was like, we could go to war, but we're going to try peace, above all else, to try to coexist. And technically it was the right move because, 50 years later, the USSR collapsed, eye for an eye will retaliate equal force. Start this. No. See, this is the part right here that I'm thinking about. If we do this, an eye for an eye, they're going to attack again, and it's just going to escalate until, well, World War, right? Let's try this option. If we can't de-escalate, then we'll go to war. We should have retaliated. I hope the diplomatic response makes sure that further incidents like this are prevented. If there is a next time, I'm afraid that it will be war. I'm frankly disappointed. If we can't even retaliate after such an attack, what will become the future of our country? I think we should hold a military parade to display our force. I wonder if he suggested that. Is he going to military parade in the capital? Because, you know, that would be the perfect opportunity to do a coup, because this guy has words. Mention a couple words like that. And now he's all diplomatic. You will need it. Mr. President, we came as fast as we could. Mr. President, Mr. Wissy, what is going on? Welcome, everyone. Due to the potential, I want everyone to be present for this meeting. We are receiving an envoy from Arcasia. Ah, that's the head of the NATO. Well, this world's version of NATO. This is like the U.S., I believe. Dwight Walker, like Dwight D. Eisenhower. Judging from the current, it's not hard to see what this is about. NATO is always trying to expand its influence. After all, they will most likely. Oh, okay, wait. Hold on, stand by. Where's ATO? There we go. Yeah, is the founding member of ATO. Yeah. In addition, as part of this state, Dwight Walker will, of course, meet with you in person. With all due respect, are you out of your mind? What the frack is wrong with you? Mr. Lancia. What? I bet he will come asking us for cooperation, the guys that have been forcing their demands to join ATO. What? This will antagonize half the world against us, and we are going to be the forefront of the battle. If you are approaching this from the perspective of national defense, then don't. We are in better shape than we were ever before. I assure you, we don't need any outside help. He's like, we can do it on our own. No, we cannot, okay? No, we cannot. 200,000 men. Remember? 200,000 men. And the reserve pool, I went from non-conscription. So it's a volunteer pool of troops. 200,000. Yes, we're allied with the other guys north of us, which I think brings us back up to 400,000. We're allied to Lesbia, which shit has a couple of 100,000, I don't know, 400,000 or maybe 500,000. But still, Rumsburg has 1 million troops. You know, it's going to be a slugfest. Joining ATO right, this massive nation, strongest economy in the world, right, is going to bring the big dog in the battle, right? It will immediately go up to like 2 million men. They won't even dare. It would de-escalate the situation rather than escalate it. Well, Mr. I'm afraid it might not be possible to stay neutral in this case. Our geographical position is simply too important. Soon we'll have to take a side. If we don't pick a side, we may end up right in the middle of a potential conflict. But okay. A military welcome is in order. They need to see our might. Nah. They're a big dog. They're a bigger dog than me. Alright. Head of Ado came out of the door, smiling, waving at an enormous crowd that gathered. It was not every day an Arcasian president came to visit Sortland after all. Oh well. Miss Ray, if you told me I would get to greet with your lovely wife, it would have come soon. I'm sure I missed. I'm gonna have to watch you too. I hope your wife and the family as well. They're very well, Mr. Rain. Thank you. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it here today. Who do we have here? Mr. President, it's good to finally meet you. I was almost going to think that you weren't expecting me. Oh. Well. I wonder if I had to choose like that extravagant. Did this just go down? That went down by 1, I think. Is it because of the tax? Wait, the crowd inside was composed of various politicians. When our entries started clapping, dry martinis were handed at both of us. Ugh. No offense. I know this is like a James Bond thing. Scotch, please. The jazz band started playing. Yes, of course. I can call you Dwight. I turned around to talk to the waiter. He took her by and they started dancing. Really? What a you sly dog, you, huh? I was into my third martini when I heard a whistle. I turned around and saw Monica dancing very close with President Walker, all eyes and... What the frack is wrong with you? Dude, I'm a... Yeah, finish the martini, of course. And Mr. Rain, you are one lucky guy. Thank you, Mr. Walker and Mr. Rain. You were one lucky guy. Oh. Alright, with drinks in our hand, we went down the stairs to the basement. Alright. We arrived at a cozy little corner office with not much inside other than a table and comfortable chairs. It's amazing where, like, high, serious diplomacy is done, right? Like in a little corner office, you know, while everybody's partying, and it's just two guys having two drinks in their hands, you know? It's amazing. And cigars, nice. Oh, jeez. Facts. It's just scandal. I'm no reporter. I just made it out of about one myself. Oof, it was a rough one too. You get used to a couple of people in prison, a couple of people silenced. You know the drill. Silenced? What are you talking about? What kind of silence are you talking about? Silence as you paid them off, or silence as you did a little James Bond action. Well, the bad James Bond kind of action, I guess. Who's the, like, opposite of James Bond? Is there an opposite James Bond? I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously the villain's in James Bond, but I wonder if they have, like, a movie or a TV series that focuses on the exact opposite of James Bond. Somebody that, you know, maybe doesn't have, like, this, you know, the gadgets and the slew of, you know, charisma and all that, but goes around, you know, doing bad stuff. James Bond's arch enemy, basically. You said, Mr. Rain, whiskeys are a little bit like countries. Sometimes are stronger, some are weaker, some are older, some are younger. Many are complex, but sometimes simple is the best. Personally, I like stronger whiskeys in general. That's why I like this one. Yes, it is definitely promising. Whatever you drink, in the end, it all boils down to your own taste. And I assure you, Mr. Rain, my sense of taste is very refined. Not wine. Yeah. The type I can't refuse. Listen closely. Times are changing, and so is the balance of the world. Soon, instead of a fractured world, we will see a more united world. There is us, Edo, against them. I want you by our side, the winning side. I think there's much we can achieve together, and you have shown me the proof. A friend of Lesbia is our friend as well. If you accept, I would like to extend your warm welcome to Edo as a full member state. This, of course, comes along with lots of privileges and responsibility. We protect each other with mutual defense clause in case of war. You'll have an entire backing of Edo soldiers, their fighters, warships, whatever you like. During peacetime, you will see the effects even more. Our combined production output will benefit both Swordland. Nice. Okay, that's going to be good. Free visa access, investments, you name it. All I ask in return is mutual loyalty. All branches, be it air, navy, will collaborate with the Alliance Network. We will provide assistance and training for free. Oh, wow. Our armies will learn how to fight together and be stronger. Nice. Let's make history tonight. What do you say? Yeah, there's just too much stuff going on. We can't say no. And it's a very seductive offer. it increases our military forces. Anybody attacking us attacks the group. So that's good. So there's not going to be any war, basically, unless the big dogs go to war, and hopefully that doesn't happen. Rumsburg, forget about it. They're not even going to test us. The country that's over here, I think, is Valksburg, whatever. I don't think they will, because they're a member of this, I believe. Yeah, and farther countries like Valksburg. So Valksburg won't start over that little island, because if they start a war over that island, right, which is part of our ally Angsland, which is north of us, right, they go over that war over that island. Now, Edo and this whole communist, I guess the, what the heck was the equivalent? Warsaw Pact, right? The Warsaw Pact would all go in. So, and then the nut job that's to my left over here, I mean, he has a small military, so he won't even... I can make demands on him to, like, stop his craziness. Alright, let's do that. And that's how it's done. You need to celebrate besides her. Alright, let's look at the news. Dun, dun, dun. President Reagan has announced that Switzerland will take the next step to join ATO. The transition period will have no effects on the citizens during the earlier days. However, gradually our economy side will begin to be integrated. Militarily, ATO will now have substantial power over the decision-making of which justified was not and will not be welcomed by many officials from the army. Oh, so that's why the guy was pissed off. The historic moment has been welcomed warmly by the member states of ATO. It's not like that ATO is going to tell us what to do. Okay, we're working in cooperation. Nice. This is the equivalent, I think, of the... yeah. So this is the equivalent of the Warsaw Pact. As you can see, Pact there. Alright, so this would be... What's his name? Who would this be? In today's, well, 1950s world. Khrushchev? What the heck? Would this be Stalin? Leon... Huh. He refrained from making a comment, yeah, because he's now like, oh shit. Alright. Before I do that, because I've been clicking that forever now, let's see what's going on. Oop. After issuing a radio message. What kind of radio message? You're crossing that line, man. They're a monarchy, so they're not even with the Vagsland and the Warsaw Pact. They're on their own. Just keep doing this shit. We're gonna have words with you in a minute. It's no longer us that you know. It's no longer our military, Lesbia's and Agneland's military you have to deal with. It's a bigger house now. Whoa. Stumbled into the hall. Oh shit. Wait. Excuse me. There is no way she's having an affair with... I'm not even, like, playing that. She's not having an affair with that guy that I just signed the thing with. There's no way. There is no fracking way. Because, let me tell you something. The media would be like, alright, the head of Arcasia, right, the president of Arcasia, which would be the United States, flew over to, let's say we're the equivalent of France. Flew over to France this week, and the first lady hasn't been seen around the residence. And you're gonna, I mean, there's no way you can have an affair when you're that high up. It's not gonna happen. Yes, you can have like the vice president and the member of the staff because they're in close. But it would have to be like the president of Arcasia flying to France like every month. Well, this month I wanted to try this wine, and then this month I wanted to try this cheese. Like, come on, there is no way. Okay. Get used to it, baby. Oh, did it say she led me upstairs? Chicka bow wow. Oh snap. This is current, right? This is after the Vagslin saw that I joined Ado. Seriously? You really want to go to toe-to-toe? Said in a statement, Angoli will stand against he condemned Chancellor Vagel for trying to dominate the Marquinian Sea and warned us of a potential war. Dang, that's not good, man. Very not good. Just like old times. Indeed, 4 long years ago. Alright. A few hours later, I was waiting at the wings of... Alright. Behind the podium hung a swordfish flag and a giant banner that read... Oh, I like that. Your land, my land, Swordland. Was this the guy that had problems with my wife? Part of the opposition as a member of the NFP. Huh. Sons and daughters of Swordland. I guess they past 3.5 years or the past. I have begun to fix the disastrous. Together we can. We're backed up to 4. Good. And I will continue with cooperation with the institution I hold dear. I remain committed to stamping out the corruption as plague sorters corporations. I don't know. There has been tremendous progress made in this term and more is to come. Okay, by our far side is Franz Richter to reform the USP campaigns. It's time to get back on board with the rain train. I love that. I'll just do that. That sounds cool. Alright, so we're in election mode, I guess. I got no money. It's always good to have no money when you're going for office. Alright, there's one for the press. On the international renowned one-on-one, the famous journalist will be asking questions. The crew of one-on-one will arrive next week in Le Caven. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. And what's going on here? Briefing on the current economic situation. All right, good stuff, right? Because we're only 4 away from the top. I opened the door. Simon was sitting alone with a glass of water. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. President. Peter, I hope I'm not late. Did you start yet? No, not yet. Now that everyone is here, let's begin. As you all know, the agenda today is the economy review for our entire term. I will brief you quickly on what we've done so far, just as a refresher. Alright. Our extra focus on the economy has resulted in some small-scale positive growth. The extra resource allowed my minister to optimize our plans as much as possible. It would be great if we follow up on this focus in the next term. Let's delve into more of ingrained economic details now. Page 5. Let's start off with the economy plan. I would like to say we are on track, but I can't. Our decisions so far have been disruptive of our initial plan to go for a planned economy. It looks like we're going for a mixed approach instead of something in between a plan and a market economy. We need to be more adamant, just pointing out the facts. Let's move on with the report. Turn to page 16. I'm happy to say our trade has increased since the beginning of our term. Yep. We're on the right path. We should keep at it and maximize the potential. More trade means a more vibrant economy, which will increase our economic development. Although an argument can be made for we have started to become heavily reliant on unfortunate, but one way or another, we're on this path as a result of our decisions. We can't do everything ourselves. We can't just be like a country where we close borders and no. Look at North Korea. Like, come on, man. Doesn't, you being closed off from the rest of the world, I mean, there's a really good example. I was listening to a podcast called Dictators, I think, and they were going over North Korea, and it was they were talking about how one side, South Korea, took more of a democratic, capitalist approach, opened up their economy to the world, and now we have, they have massive corporations like Samsung and Hyundai and huge corporations that are, everywhere, right? Samsung, I mean, come on, Samsung phones, so massive companies. And North Korea took the communist closed off approach, right? And they were talking about how in the podcast, it's amazing how such a different ideologies have displayed the country. And they were saying that from space you can see South Korea. It's all vibrant with light from one end to the other, just blistering lights of a sophisticated, of a advanced nation. And then north, it's just complete black, where there is just sign of destitution kind of thing. It's true. I mean, whatever, it's not like North Korea shuts off all their lights at night, It just shows that, like, there's nothing there, Like, their capital, I think Pyongyang, right? Like, you can't even see it from space, the light from space, because it's so... I mean, what? They got like 5 buildings turned on? Come on. I mean, there's nothing really there. There is no, North Korean Samsung, There is nothing like... Nobody in this world has ever held a product from North Korea. And it just goes to show, how when you're confined to your own world, you lose out, I mean, I bet you if you get the latest smartphone, like the iPhone, we're on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, right? And then you take their phone, which they do, they started introducing smartphones a couple of years ago in North Korea. But it is completely like, from what I saw in the documentary, it's like so rudimentary. Like, it's almost like just a little bit better than a calculator, And you put the iPhone next to it, and it's like, so this is what happens when you take the best engineers of the world, the best, and expose your country and do market competition, and you have a phone that 10, 15 years ago or so was a supercomputer. Now you have a supercomputer in your hands versus that phone, which is like you click to press to make a call, like you hit the dialer. You might want to make a cup of coffee before it goes to the next thing, I don't see what is wrong with it. Extra Alliance. While trying to fix the issues with our economic system, we went for a mixed approach. We didn't hold businesses above else, and also tried to answer the requests of sorted citizens. Balance is delicate and fragile. Bad news is the living standards. We received more and more complaints about our welfare systems, which means less votes. Our opponents will use this against us. Exactly. Now, page 34. Yeah, but what about the education system? What about the freaking healthcare system? Give me a break. We have lost value in terms of our production rates compared to last year's. This is one of our weakest points right now. We have hold on. How do we have the weakest production rates? Oh, that's right, because I invested in agriculture, because the farmers got hit the worst. We have problems in terms of logistics in our country. The infrastructure is currently lacking quality and quantity. Okay, good. Our inflation rate is currently at 2%, down from 7%. Lowest that I've seen Sordland since the beginning of our country. Sordland's rent's value has been largely maintained. The consumer prices have been stabilized, which means, okay, good. Good. Nice. The economy grew 16% in the last 4 years on average. Hooah! Get some. What is our debt situation? Our debt is at 428, close to 427 at the beginning of our term. Okay. Yeah. How are we doing on unemployment? Yes! Look at that. Come on. Give me the good news. This is good news. Balanced approach is good. However, we shouldn't forget that money that is not spent is just a piece of paper. Now, going into the election, hopefully a second term, we need to decide on the way forward. Currently, we need more budget and we need an action. One thing is clear, currently we need more budget and we need more action. We shouldn't start with a budget deficit. Whoa. I don't want to take a fracking loan. Fine. This will pose quite a risk for reputation, but it can't be done. Are you kidding me? Look at all the figures you gave me. We're not doing that bad? Dude, you out of you. I don't know what freaking school you went to. Whoa, look at this! Dude! Economic development is just bustling. Alright. Okay, I thought you were gonna kind of pull your support to me because, you know, I was so not, but it's okay. Many of the locals in Userin gather in City Square to celebrate the revocation of the ban of the Bluish Freedom Front. The mayor reported the amnesty and revocation were agreed by. Alright, so no, like, bombings, nothing like that. We're on the road to cooperation and living together and, you know, all for one and one for all, you know, the Musketeers. Their campaign slogan, "Victory Forever," and cover the city after campaign visited. Oh, they have been United Swordlands major opposition since their formation each year, earning a higher percentage of votes, and now they're with us. Now they are with us, which is good stuff, man. Nice, providing opportunity. Yeah, boy! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So that 5% unemployment is going to go down. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, good. All right. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Embargoed by United Cortana. Yeah, I don't care. Okay, very good. Good to go. So, the USP is my party, right? So it's about 130 votes there. I don't know how many of them are going to support me, right? In that election. The PFJP are 70%, or 70 other votes. So these two parties are backing me, right? This is my party, but they're also kind of siding with me. So I think it should be good. The new party, which is the party I brought back, the Bloodish Party, I think they're part of the Independents. So I don't think I'm too concerned. Has welcomed General Luteran's son into their midst today in horror. Seeing Luteran back politics is shocking to many systems. General Luteran famously organized a military coup against former Wisi. That led to the Swordish Civil War. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I guess if it's black and white, he's probably KIA, right? Yeah. Alright. Here we go. And they are from Kurut. The country is known for its neutrality. Oh, no codex. Okay. Mr. Resident, welcome to One-on-One. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you. Let us begin with the latest incident between Swordland and Rumsburg. An aircraft missile was shot down by Rumsburg anti-air. Officials from Rumsburg government proclaimed that the aircraft was flying inside the airspace of Rumsburg. Your government has been silent apart from a few statements which claimed that your plane was indeed in Swordish airspace when it was shot down. Do you believe Rumsburg forces initiated an unintentional attack? Alright. I don't want to think that they attacked us intentionally. It must have been a mistake. Is that even a question? Does that mean that there will be more hostilities on the horizon? Do you believe these harassments could lead to an actual war between This week, the Arcasian government has condemned Rumberg for their actions against Sordland. Now that Sordland is... Do you think this would deter... You have also earlier claimed that Rumsberg has been spying on your administration, blah blah blah. Yes, she did. Rumsberg has since denied all the claims. Of course they would deny, however Sordland knows the truth. Some also claim that your secretary was involved in certain dealings with your vice president, which... Oh, shit. I can just I talked about this, and you can check what I've... It is true that she infiltrated me. Shoot, man, I gotta be careful, because you know these journalists, they're good. They want to all right, so like there's the truth on one side, right, because I know the truth, right, and you have the journalist on the other, and he's like going through the maze trying to get to the other end to open up the whole thing. And if you are a good interviewee, you'll know where to kind of like lead the interviewer so he doesn't get to the cheese, you know what I'm saying? The question is, am I good at placing where the cheese will be? I'll do that, which first, I'm not responsible. To some extent, yes, all our ministers are responsible for letting such a scandal take place. I would figure that's a good response. I'm taking a responsibility. Let's talk about the ongoing conflict about the Helgeland Island. The Angolan Navy has been increasingly active in the Markarian Sea. As you know, we've been harassing Angolian ships. They've been harassing Swordist ships as well. I believe Sordland is committed to stand together with Angolia. In fact, you have a military alliance with them. What do you think about Vagzeland's action and claims on the island? Okay, I think this will be a good one. Do you think the hostilities can erupt into a hot war? Would Sordland also get involved if the situation gets out of control? I hope this situation will come to that. One or two. The problem is, I do not like what this freaking Angolia, I don't like what they do. Because that country, Helgeland, that island, is technically all Vaxland people in there, right? And they actually put a governor on there without holding elections, right? And there's a lot of crap going on there, and it clearly shows that these guys should just let the island go. But I have to look at it from another point of view, which would be, I sign an alliance. Do I go back on my word and say, nah? Because number 2 means as a peacekeeping force, yes. I think that would be like a neutral part. And I can't be neutral because those guys are on the Warsaw Pact. And I'm not going to go, yeah, we'll have to, I mean, back up our word. Why is it that you support England's? And they invaded the island. You really, I should have read all this. You really invaded the island, you stupid. With Wayland. Which one is this? Oh, the nut job. Yeah, nut job. Partook in a massacre of Brutish service on the guys of eliminating the Brutish Freedom Front. Swordsland decided to stay out of the conflict. In fact, many refugees fleeing from a massacre came to Swordsland. Knowing that Swordsland also has troubles with this Brutish independence movement, how did Swordsland cope with the influx of Brutish coming in from Wayland? Ooh, I like number... I don't understand the question. The Brutish movement has nothing to do with this. They could have been swords or Weslex. First of all, they're human beings. I like that. I think we've handled... The world has been watching this humanitarian crisis with utmost attention. I have to give you credit for allowing these people to enter Swordsland. Unlike your neighbor Lesbia, Swordsland took this responsibility. Do you feel the burden for being the only country who opened their borders to the refugees? I understand. Can you say with certainty that these refugees can adapt and find better life in Swordsland? But how about when a gesture there, he stopped before finishing? Whoa. Well, it seems that's... Oh, yeah. Director shouted at the crew to stop recording. Whoa, what the heck happened there? Thank you for your valuable time, Mr. President. I wonder if somebody there has... There's a pleasure. That was interesting. Why did he just stop it? That was weird. Whoa, look at all that. Dang, man. Workers' Party of Bludia. Oh. Sorely dependent on foreign help. What? What? Oh, you piece of... Jeez. The minority is, after approval by a majority vote Wednesday in 3 hours, but while the name suggests differently, the main purpose action normal is legalizing and justify brutish separate sentiment. Now, regardless of all your comments, one thing that is not going to happen because of all this, the freeing of those political prisoners, allowing this party to exist, there's not going to be like car bombs or anything like that. The most fanatical people in that group are going to be like, well, I mean, technically we want our own country, but we now have our own party. Our people are getting elected to office, better healthcare, better this. I mean... Wow. Alright, 2 weeks after West Point, the Workers' Party announced that oh, frack, I should have just... Is that its lowest in history? Really? How much money did a health system get? We put off a epidemic? Oh, crap. Give me a break. Sorlin economy stagnates a month. Really? Because last I checked, we were here. Now we're all the way here. Businesses are closing left and right. How about businesses are opening up left and right? How much freaking businesses are coming from Arcasia? You lying sacks of... Thankfully, Soros managed to approach the incident calmly and establish a peace line to avert. Ah, crap me. Oh, yeah! Following President Rain's attendance, sentiment for the president in Dar has increased, earning the Bludish vote. Yeah, boy, me! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. What? You do realize I helped build this thing that is building up the economy there. Well, in between this. Unbelievable. Gotta get it. Hydration. Just the two of us. Dun, 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 dun. Don't worry, I won't sing that song. Just the two of us. That's the only 2 words I know. Just the two of us. They can catch us if we can. Avasala, unhappy looking young woman. Well, man, this is gonna. One of them is gonna. Oh, lucky. Oh, wow. So the line is that despite they felt compelled to grant me all the advantages son would have had, including the education I needed to rise to my current position. Given how your wife spends her time these days, I thought you might need some... Are you trying to... Speaking of which, she led me into... From the Nice Beneath was a woman in an apron and chef's hat. Was a back... was by her... Oh, okay. Someone presented a roast rack of venison. Wow. Not get to her. That's fine. But given certain developments that have occurred over the course, Oh! Get the frack out of here! You know, honestly, I thought she was gonna seduce me. You know? I wanna... Oh, wow. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'll spit up. Do you think I'd sit eyes by as you make mockery of this country's constitution, the very constitution that is keeping this nation safe from internal and external threats? You are a disgrace to the good name of... Wow, what a... You're fired. I'm doing you a courtesy tonight. I didn't want to surprise you at the Congress, and I wanted to give you time to consider packing you. Attended my official resignation once we're back in. What a... Tag gone. So, yeah, I know, there's a change. Of course there's a change. I don't have nobody in the interior now. Gosh, man, I hope she's not the... S. See, this is another reason why Arcanius or Arceus, whatever, is the United States, because we have added S-16 fighter jets to Just replace the F with an S. The new bombers have a bomb radius of, wow, an increased 300 minute. Wow. Arcasian Hornets. Wow. According to reports on account, due to a serious condition, leadership had held an emergency meeting. Yeah, I know. Wow. I have a feeling something bad's gonna happen. After hearing the loud thump of a bulk falling down to the floor, he turned to a couple of privates that were doing the preparation of the schedule and started walking in the direction. "Private, can't you do your job properly?" Watch the young soldiers perform a lousy salute. "What is that salute, soldier? Watch, this is a real salute." He performed an excellent salute, and after scolding the privates, he walked back. He was probably scared to death. Mr. President. I have a bad feeling about this. To see the planes fly. "Serge, what did you do? Where did you do your military, sir?" "Lorna, 7th Artillery Squadron. I still talk with many of my friends from those days. Camaraderie of military is never forgotten. I still talk with many from my days as well. What about you, sir?" "Mr. President was under my command once." "Do you remember those days?" "I also remember Mr. President did not like to execute direct orders from his superiors." Let's just put that in the past now. Atmosphere immediately changed when these experienced men who fought many times saluted me. I saluted back with respect. I saluted the high-ranking military staff and attaches from 80. Oh, okay, cool. We shook hands before proceeding. I entered the car and Serge started the engine. "Good luck, Mr. President." The car started rolling, even though I was able to hear the deafening sounds. Gradually made our way to the starting point. A group of 10, maybe 12 latest, flew above our heads, and I thought that the engine sounds were going to leave me deaf. Loud footsteps on the marching soldier were followed by loud noises coming from tank engines. They were not the most modern models, however, they displayed our military might. I couldn't even finish my thought, and when one of the... Oh, man. And had to be towed. It's not a good look. We waited for a few minutes, and then finally it was our turn. On both sides of the victory island, there were numerous citizens cheering. Oh, looking at the benches where General Staff was sitting, I saw Tarkin Saul sitting next to General Valkin. From this, it was hard to tell, but he tipped his hat to me, and I could swear that he was smiling. Oh, gosh. So, why do I have a feeling there still might be a military coup, since my General Valkin, who runs all the departments, I think he runs the Army, Air Force, and all that, he's sitting next to Tarkin Saul, right? And the other guy, which was whatever his name is, General freaking Lancia, when I didn't do the attack after they shot off my plane, right? He was just, okay, no problem. Where normally he would flip out. So things are tipping me off. You're almost at the R-Tour. They did not even have matching guns. Oh, jeez, we need to... Well, we continue on permit and finally arrived, which marked the end. People of Hortland dispersed to their homes. Oh, man. The will of the states. To be honest with you, I don't... It's a lot. I need to get, like, stats on this election. Poll, stuff like that, because I need to know what is going on. Alright, good. Everything looks good. Geopolitical. Okay, so this Alliance of Nations is, well, the UN. Alright, cool. Alright, just this. Alright. Hopefully it's not anything crazy. Mr. President, it is my pleasure to return to this podium. Let's see how crazy this year's session will get. The threat of the so-called socialist states and action taken by the authority with no regard to international law. Today, the need to come together as leaders of the free world is more important than ever. The CSP under the leadership of United Cortana has been fueling Vaxland military. The world cannot turn a blind eye to an increasing naval presence. I feel like this is like a Cuban Missile Crisis. Hereby call for the immediate withdrawal of all naval vessels with any offensive... Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Let us also not forget about the recent events that transport another state with socialist teachings. Their purge of the minorities was again largely ignored by the national community. I would go as far as call it genocide. Wayland violated our past treaties and mobilized their armed force, deploying them close to our borders and authorizing them to partake in massacres. Lesbia was affected not only by the large wave, really, because you didn't take them, coming from Wayland, but by the subsequent government seizure of all of the companies that were active in the country. We hereby call the member states to action and its rogue government. Thank you. Well, the guy is a nut job. And I would have to agree with the guy with Alvarez. It was borderline. I mean, I think it was genocide. So I'm gonna clap. He brushed him aside with an exaggerated sweep of his arms. Oh, wow. Mr. President, fellow delegates, it is true that the world faces in the midst of these challenging, the world's most powerful leaders gather here in Cruz. And what do? They make threats, promote hate, and spread lies. Is this alliance we all want? Where is the cooperation and friendship? Where is the unity? I want to remind you of the wars that the West fought on our soil, of the foreign troops who occupied our country and seized our valuable resources. I want to remind you how they stole the oil from our sacred soil. Did not know when to stop. The 80 soldiers left, but their interference never ceased. They financially armed rebel groups whose only purpose is to create terror inside our country. So fellow delegates, don't dare speak about Wayland before you... Arcasia made a deal with United Cortana where they agreed upon the withdrawal of their troops from... Not only did they weaken us, we were left alone in facing genocidal... I will show you some evidence of foreign interference. I have evidence of direct aid from Rumsberg to the Blutish. They smuggled in their spies, smuggled in mercenary commanders. I expect this organization to do its task and investigate it properly instead of leaving Wayland behind. Coming back to the claims of lesbian representatives. First, there's no evidence of civil... Yeah, right. Third, we know your government is also implicated in the funding of the BFF. Fourth, as a state, we only took what was ours. The companies that the delegates spoke of were not only aiding militants. Oh, wow. Now I ask every delegate here to read our report on the connections of the West. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm sure you want peace. The Rincon Nation. Recon Nations? Who the Recon Nations? Where's that pack thing? There we go. Well, he played the victim, and his anti-imperialist stance has definitely earned him sympathy from the Recons. Most of that continent has still not achieved stability after gaining independence. It is easy to forget. Oh, man. It's an honor to be with you today. I wish we could. Once again, CSP Nations shown us, I think, first, yes, for being brave enough to support Angola. We were one of the first to propose cooperations, yet we were threatened by Vaxland, although Mr. Alvarez voiced his indirect support for us earlier in today's session. I can't keep myself from wondering where he was when... Oh, wow. So here I am asking for the support of my fellow member states of the Alliance of Nations. Angola is under attack by Vagsland. Mr. President, please moderate the assembly. This is more than disrespectful. Wow. As you all know, our drilling ships, oil tankers, even fishing have been disappearing in the Marquian Sea. Capture is sunk by Vagsland, and the Vagsland fleet is patrolling the seas around Hedgeland, and with complete disregard to international laws, I call on the Alliance to find a resolution, never-ending conflict. We demand immediate withdrawal of all naval forces. I call democratic against tyranny. Jeez. Jeez. Wow. Yeah, this Alliance of Nations is gonna fall apart. Wow. Oh, great. Here we go. First of all, I want to... After fighting for years, I remember died. As numbers grow and more states are represented in the stage, we will come ever closer to finding a resolution of the conflicts that plague us for hundreds of years. The dominant economies... Jeez, what's wrong with me? Of Mercopia, raised pillage. Alright. Sadly, Vagsland was also part of this plenty years before the when it was still clung to the idea of imperialism, but when our masses found their voice, the old colonial powers and their new financiers turned against them. Alright. Vagsland holds the right to protect its territorial waters and trade. The delegates from Lesbia and Angola brought up the Falcao Treaty, but what are they doing when NATO ADO patrols? They were silent. And what about Hedgeland? How about the Valgs being killed by the Angolan government because they protested against appointing a governor? Angola and their allies in Swordland have no right to claim they are upholding liberty and democracy. Other nations have no right to intervene in the matters between. Just as no country in the world has a right to determine what type of naval vessels we use, no country can force us not to defend our seas. If there's a conflict the Alliance can't resolve, let's start with the Arcasian base on Falinco Island. What is that? Lesbia has been housing Arcasian troops and missiles by our border for years, and none of them... I also want to look into Arcasian bases in Lesbia. And if the Alliance of Nations truly claims to have the best people's interests at heart, they cannot stay silent on what the Angolan government did in Hedgeland. Jeez. Oh gosh, are we having like everybody on stage, like, and everybody's airing their bullshit? Like, is that what's going on now? Like, unbelievable. Beatrice. Took in traitors. Huh. Whoa, that's a threat. Here we go. Now I really don't want to go up. Our century is the century for the struggle of freedom. How much is this? See, do I address the bullshit, or I will not respond to any of the comments made today. Instead, I want to talk about our responsibility as the Alliance of Nations. Today, the AN if we still have other nations who are not. Sadly, this isn't always the case. I don't even know what path I'm going down, but I want to be like the guy, not throwing bullshit out there. I want to be like, hey, listen, let's stop all this bullshit. Let's work together. If the right actions are not taken, it will be quite evident that international relations cannot continue. We stand and always will stand for the rights of people of Sortland and Eastern Makova, just as those in other continents. Of the enemies of peace. Well spoken. It was not a bad speech, Miss Wright. You did well. Oh. It is very troubling to see the democratic nations of Macopia be threatened by the... Oh, man. They're harassing other nations and hampering international trade. If this is not an attack on world peace, an attack against the free... Today, our obligations to world peace are being tested by United Cortana, and if we fail to counter this threat, if we stay idle and allow them to surround us with their war machines and blockades, if the attackers do not face any consequences, then this unstable peace we believe we have built will be the world's downfall. Wait, didn't what's his name, Khrushchev do that? Take off his shoe and started... I think it was Khrushchev that did it there. More bullshit. No defenses, enforce blockades or show. If the alliance cannot find a resolution, the Command ATO remains ready and able to react. What is this supposed to mean? You're promoting war in the alliance of nations? Mr. President, this cannot... Silence, please. Mr. Chancellor, please let me finish. We do not interrupt. I must raise my concerns about the threat of Rumsberg posting eastern Macopia. Whoa, the reports from Wayland and Swordland are troubling. Stand against the aggression of Rumsberg. Good. So let it be known, my fellow inhabitants of this world, let us take our stand and see if we can finally achieve a lasting peace. Thank you. I don't know. I'm part of this thing, so... Come on, enough! Gosh, man. How many people? We're going over everybody. Okay, yeah. You're the innocent bystander. Every year, the United Cortana comes to this assembly to address the real problems of real people, people who suffer because of the assistance of wars and ignorance. Oh. Rumsberg or any other nation, we must not succumb to further division and violence. Now you're all like, we must have peace. So let us leave to our children good memories of our time and better future. Let them look at history and say, once there were a great division and complex problems, but the leaders of the world came together and aligned. Jeez, man. Craziness. Freaking craziness. Wow. What's going on here? Alright, I think I'm going to end it here, guys. Man, there's so much craziness going on in this world. Oh, man. Absolutely nuts. But, wow. I have enough reading done for the day. It's like freaking 10 chapters. Alright, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Oh, and yes, I forgot to mention. We're having the interview with the developer of Suzerain tomorrow. We're still locking down the time. I'll post it on my Twitter feed and on the developerdialogue.com website. So just type in developerdialogue.com. It will be updated sometime tonight. And just follow my Twitter feed. Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. We all decided on tomorrow, but maybe I could push it to Monday so it can give a little bit more lead time. I don't know. But, yeah, just stay tuned to my Twitter feed. It'll be at strategy and then Wargamer, just without the E at the end. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I have a lot of questions for the developer because I really love this game. I'm really surprised because I don't know what it is. This game gives me a lot of immersion. I feel like there's something really special about this game, and it's hard because I feel like I'm very immersed into the role of president. I feel like honestly a president during the Cuban Missile Crisis, honestly. So I have tons of questions for him. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you then.